Hey there, thanks for watching. My name is Christiana and I am on a journey to financial independence. I work a full-time 9-to-5 job in marketing and I aim to achieve financial independence by spending less than I make, by increasing my income, and by developing additional streams of income. In this video, I aim to share with you my motivational steps, the steps that I take that really get me motivated, especially when I'm not feeling it, which happens a lot. Because the journey to building those streams of income is long and hard and challenging, totally worth it, but these motivational tips and strategies have really helped me. I mean, and they're concrete and really simple, but I found over the past week, I've put them into place and they've really helped me. Before we get started, I ask you to please tap that like button. It is a huge help to me with the YouTube search algorithm, and it also raises the term of financial independence, motivation, entrepreneurship. If you are looking for more tips, then stay tuned. Okay, so here's the layout of the video, and I'll try to give you timestamps as well, so if you are more interested in one section, you can just skip directly there. Well, first of all, I'm going to show you the progress that I've made on my basement listing space, because I find that that's personally a huge motivator for me to show how that space is progressing in my decluttering, etc. The second thing I'm going to do is share with you those action strategies that I took this week as I was getting back into the business of restarting my eBay store and the routine of listing. The third thing I'm going to do is share with you my listing routine, exactly what I do in what order, and the motivation along the way that keeps me going in that routine. And the fourth thing I'm going to do is show you the item that sold within less than 24 hours of listing it. It has been about 3 weeks since I made the decision to restart this eBay store business that I had going on, and the biggest thing for me was clearing out the clutter in my basement listing area. So I will insert footage of week 3 progress here. This is week 1, tons of clutter. That's my shipping area. There's still clutter on the floor, and there's a huge death pile on that chair on the left there. This is week 2. You can see a lot more of the carpet on the floor, and you'll notice that the death pile in the chair is gone. And here is week 3. You can see a lot more of the carpet, and I've organized and thrown out some of the other boxes, and there's a ton more space, which is encouraging. For some context on my eBay store and my eBay journey, kind of the scale that I'm working on, it's very small. Currently, I have 378 items listed. I was at 400, and I find that at 400, my sales are a lot more steady. So my goal right now is to list an additional 20 items just right away, so I am up over that 400 threshold. But let me tell you, I've been out of the game for a while. I hadn't listed actively since February of this year, and it was a lot of work to get motivated into doing that. I told myself this week that I just needed to list 5 items. I told myself just 5, that's it, that's all you have to do. And even getting started to do that was exhausting. It was really hard for me to encourage myself to do that after I work a full day. But the thing is, I have the time. I mean, we're stuck at home. This is like quarantine 2020. I have nothing but time. The weather's been gorgeous, so there's a lot of natural light for pictures, for listing. I just haven't wanted to do it. I haven't been motivated. That's no excuse, because the reality is motivation is for losers. The quote is, motivation is for amateurs, the rest of us just get to work. So this is fact-checking Christiana from the future, jumping in here to say that I totally got that quote wrong. It's one of my favorite quotes, but I actually messed it up. It is from New York photojournalist and photorealist Chuck Close, and the quote is actually, inspiration is for amateurs, the rest of us just show up and get to work. But I think that it's also actually very relevant because it shows that inspiration and motivation is only half the process. So here's the whole quote. Inspiration is for amateurs, the rest of us just show up and get to work. If you wait around for the clouds to part and a bolt of lightning to strike you in the brain, you are not going to make an awful lot of work. All the best ideas come out of the process. They come out of the work itself. The point of this quote is to illustrate that motivation only gets you so far. The important part is to have a process to back up that motivation. So here are the actual steps that I followed to get me back into my listing routine. So this is a setting. I had just finished a full day of work, 9 to 5, and it was about 5:15, and I was tired, but I still had some energy. I just didn't feel like doing anything. So I'm sitting on the couch kind of watching TV. I try to have either BBC News or Deutschland News on in the background. And I'm sitting there scrolling through my phone, wasting time really, knowing that I wanted to be listing, but just finding it challenging to do that. And I knew I had things that I was excited to list. So I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get myself psyched up to do it. So this is what I did. So I was sitting at on my chair watching TV, and I got up to get a drink. And while I was up, I took my phone and I took the pad that I use for writing out the item specifics, and I put them on the listing table. And then I went back up and I proceeded to watch TV. I knew then that I would not be comfortable watching TV for much longer because my phone was already downstairs. And by that point, I knew that if I were to get up again and find myself downstairs again, I might as well just get started listing. So that was step one. Step two was I let myself listen to a fun podcast and some silly, funny YouTube videos in the background. Normally I try just to listen to music because I know that music helps me list faster, but at this point all I wanted to do was give myself some sort of incentive to get downstairs. It's like working with a kid, and it's basically bribery. It's adult bribery. I'm bribing myself with a silly podcast. The podcast that I'm loving at the moment is Obsessed with Disappeared, which is Patrick Hines and his really good friend from college, recounting all old episodes of the TV show Disappeared. The third thing that got me going was knowing that this is an attractive process because the reward at the end would be sales. I know that once I list a certain number, I will be rewarded in sales. And having that reward at the end to look forward to is probably the greatest encouragement at that point. But let me tell you, the number one thing that I did was taking my phone and putting it on the listing table. Because even though I know that it's really hard to get that listing work done, I know that once I get started, the rest is easy. Getting started is really the hardest part of the whole thing. So I'll also give you a rundown of my listing routine. It's fairly simple, but I've streamlined it to the point where if I'm really on it and very focused, it takes me maybe, I want to say 10 minutes to list one item, but I chunk it out, so I do it in stages. So I'll take all the items that I have to list for that session, I'll take photographs of them, and then while I'm photographing them, I will measure them. So that's usually from armpit to armpit, and then the length. Because I know that as a shopper, that's a huge help to me, so those are the two detail specifics that I try to list. I also weigh the item to determine shipping. I would say 90% of the items I sell go first class USPS without a problem. I do have to decide if I want to send something priority mail though, if it's over £1. So that's the stage that I do at my listing table with the natural light, usually in daytime. Daytime is optimum. The second step is to take all the details that I've listed out longhand while I'm photographing the item, and I create the actual listings on eBay. I do have a bunch of listing templates, but lately because I'm doing a few higher ticket items, I want to get the specifics right. So I will find an item that's sold, a similar item that's sold, and then find out what price they used and the keywords that they used, that seller used, and I will use that listing and sell similar. So that's what I've been doing lately, and it's been working because the first item that I listed sold less than 24 hours later. All right, so this is the fun part. Here is the item that sold less than 24 hours after I listed it. This is an Eileen Fisher maxi dress V-neck, size small, and I used the search term Lagan look. It's linen blend gray, and then I also put in this the key search terms chic and long, and it sold for $29.95 plus shipping, which was a great price. This, I believe, I found at the Goodwill bins, so I probably paid less than $1 for it. So I'll take that profit margin. All right, so that is how I did this week and the progress that I made and the actions that helped me get back into the routine and really motivated me physically. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else in the eBay world that you'd like me to review. Again, I'm a very small business, but I've tried a couple different things and they've worked fairly well. So I will keep you posted on my progress. Someone had asked, made a request to see more about my wholesale strategy, how I'd done wholesaling. So I'm happy to share more about that. So that's a topic that's coming soon. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching. Bye.